All right, welcome back, PE 108 students. We got two lectures obviously this week. We're gonna be going over goals and habits. Very, very important, especially if somebody's just getting introduced into the fitness world or is trying to take better care of themselves, trying to get into the gym more consistently. It's something that needs to be established prior to what we are starting. Okay, so goals can be big or small. I suggest that you write them down. For me, I write them down on a whiteboard right as I'm leaving my room. I have bigger goals in mind, smaller goals in mind, okay? Goals that are fitness related, goals that are life related. For me, I'm trying to go get my doctorate of physical therapy here in the next year or so. I've applied to all my schools, but my biggest goal right now is to get into PT school, and I have that written on my whiteboard, okay? And then I have little numbers, so I'm a competitive weightlifter. I have competitions coming up on October 31st, and I have the numbers that I'm trying to hit written out. That way I have a goal. I see it every morning as I walk out of my door, and that kind of reminds me, it sparks my interest, like that's what I have my eyes set on. With goals, we need to have certain standards with our goals. A good acronym that I like to use, and that's definitely going to be on your final, is our SMART goals. SMART goals, they just stand for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Okay, we'll be going over each one of those variables. So let's start with specific. A common goal that a lot of people have is to get healthy. That statement in itself is too broad. Okay, maybe you want to lose weight, which is still a broad statement in itself, but that's why we have the rest of the acronyms to go with this. Okay, so measurable is going to be adding a number onto whatever goal that you have. So say you want to hit a certain number on your deadlift. You make that measurable. That way you're kind of being able to track your progress throughout your weeks. And you can have macro goals and micro goals. So like say you want to deadlift 405 pounds by the time you're 22, okay? That would be a macro goal or a bigger goal. And then you can set micro goals in order to reach that macro goal, okay? But again, you want to be attaching a number to it, okay? So say I want to lose weight as another example. I want to lose this many pounds, okay? That way you're able to keep track, again, weekly, monthly, yearly, as to how your goal is going. Now let's talk about the A, attainable, okay? Attainable, you should be adding that number, right? So say you want to lose weight, you can't be saying, I want to lose 25 pounds within a month, okay? That's going to end up causing a lot of problems within your body, and it's going to be unhealthy for you in the long run, and you will most likely just put that weight back on, okay? That's just a harsh reality of how our body works. But the ACSM guidelines say that a person should have around 400 to 500 calorie deficit per week, which will put you around or per day, and that would put you at a pound per week. That's gonna be your healthy way of losing weight and be able to keep that weight off. It should also be relevant, okay? So say I am wanting to deadlift 405 pounds within the next year, okay? I also wanna make sure that's attainable, right? So I probably have a good baseline strength there, but I also don't want to set another goal of running a marathon in that same year, just because it will make it harder to attain either one of those goals. It works completely different energy systems within our body. So it's hard for us to attain both of those goals. So it needs to be relevant to the specific goal that we have in mind, okay? So let's keep using that 405 example, okay? So you want to be doing it in 2 years. Maybe by year one, you'll be able to lift, 335 pounds or something like that. That would be, and then that gives you a whole nother year to reach that 405, okay? Again, that's a big goal. That's long term, okay? You also want to talk about our micro or short term. So that could be a monthly goal. We'll talk about programming later, but usually you'll have goals within your programming to hit by the end of each macro or micro cycle. So that's gonna be your SMART goals. Part of your homework this week is to write out your own SMART goals in terms of fitness, or it can be just life in general, okay? Let me know if you have any questions on that. We're gonna get into habit loops next. All right, now let's talk about habits. Something that I'm working on with this guy currently. We're getting there, but there's a good quote from Warren Buffett that I like. He says, "Change of habits are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." Okay, something to keep in mind when we're talking about habits. So habits, obviously, we all have good ones. We all have bad ones. Okay, this is a bad one of his, chewing on fingers. But there's this thing called a habit loop that we'll be going into more detail in a little bit. But we want to think about habits in terms of the brain, right? So our frontal cortex is the part of the brain that makes our decision for us. And we are humans, right? So we base a lot of decisions on satisfaction and dopamine release, okay? So we usually go for So as humans, we look for habits that bring us pleasure, okay? For me, personal story, I used to be about 210 pounds in my junior year of high school. I was eating a lot of fast food. I was very sedentary in nature, playing a lot of video games, hanging out with my other buddies that were sedentary. And I didn't play many sports that offered any type of weight training program, anything like that. So my habits forced me into a poor physical state that I was not satisfied with. From there, I started to feel bad for myself. I was not eating very well. Taco Bell is my best friend, if that gives you any type of example. But I started just running. I got a running app, ran once a week, and I moved to twice a week. And so on and so forth. And I rewarded myself with good tasting healthy food because I worked at a local organic food store. And I started to see all these changes within my body, right? So I started to break this habit of going home, playing video games, driving down the street to the local Taco Bell, getting 6 Doritos Locos tacos. And I started going on runs after school, just by myself. And it was honestly, looking back, the most beneficial thing I've ever done for myself, okay? So from there, we want to talk about our habit loops, okay? Like I said, we are always driven by dopamine, right? We want something that satisfies. So there are 3 things within our habit loop. There's the cue, there's the routine, and there's the reward, okay? I have a best friend, an awesome roommate, and I'll use his example because I think it illustrates a really good idea. So after work, he would come home, he would go to the fridge, and he thought it was his time to relax. So he would have 1 beer, maybe 2, and then hit the hay, right? After a while, he started seeing the physical effects of what that was doing to him, as well as the cognitive effects, okay? Coming home and relying on alcohol after a stressful day isn't necessarily the best habit to induce. So he saw that. He saw his cue was getting home, his routine was grabbing the beer, and obviously the reward was the beer itself, okay? From there, he switched it up. He got off work. Before he went to bed, he came home, he stretched, he did a little bit of meditation, and then he went to bed, okay? That's how he changed his habit, and he got out of his habit of having 1 or 2 beers every night before he comes home, replace it with a healthier habit, okay? It's the small things like that that lead to bigger change down the road. The small decisions you make today lead to bigger, better choices down the road, okay? So think about your routines, think about your habits, think about what cues that you have, and see if there's other ways to inflict some type of change. Through my research, it says there that it takes anywhere from 18 to 288 days to create a new habit. That being said, it takes a lot of conscious effort for us to be able to change our habits. So the average is about 66 days. Staying consistent within that change, again, making the small decisions each and every day. For me right now, I'm trying to spend less and less time on my phone, especially as I'm waking up in the morning. It affects me cognitively throughout the day, and not in a good way. So I am trying my best. As soon as I hear my alarm, put my phone away, get up, make some coffee, maybe read a book a little bit, and then get to work. So let me know what you guys think. I'll have a couple questions on the worksheet this week about habits and your habit loops, and hopefully you can start introduce better habits, especially like getting to the gym. Be a huge one that this class promotes. Consistently starting small with the hopes of ending big in the long run. All right, have a great week, guys. I'll talk to you next week.